Hello, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. I see a lot of amazing people coming in. I want to say welcome to the first episode of P1, a pre-show we'll be doing before every major. Today, you got myself, Apathy, aka the Donk, and obviously we have two guests. We got Doug Censor Martin, the GOAT, and we got my boy Slacked, the Slammer.
How we doing today, Brian?
I'm doing phenomenal, Doug. And how are you doing today, Jerry?
Doing fantastic, brother. As always, you know the vibes.
I do know the vibes, man. Today we got some segments that we're going to be talking about. We got obviously hot topics. We got tier lists. We got trivias, fan submitted questions, and predictions for the entire major, which obviously we'll be breaking down like who we have winning, how the match is going to go. So we have a lot to talk about today. For the first thing, we got the hot topic is obviously a lot of you guys saw that Paris signed Tom Gravity, and this is something that I'm sure caught a lot of people off guard. Let me pull it up on the screen real quick. So right here you see it. I They obviously signed Tom Gravity. This is like something I felt like probably was going to come eventually because Tom Gravity's obviously been competing challenges for a long time. He was winning. He was doing really, really well. And I mean, he finally got signed. He can show his skill. Jared, what do you think about this roster change?
So I don't know. From the outside looking in, I don't really see how it makes sense. You drop a submachine gun player, and I think now it brings in more problems, in my opinion. I think before the roster was started, I've always said this with Temp, he needs to kind of find a role and stick to it. Right now, with adding Tom Gravity, it looks like he's going to be sticking towards that submachine gun, so I like it in that aspect. But then you get Fellow, who's ran a main AR this entire game so far. He's going to be switching to that flex role, I guess. Running a sub on some of the maps, which I understand because I'm sure it's not a fun time running an AR in this game. But I don't know. For Tom Gravity, he needs to show out. People have been gassing him up a lot in the Challengers scene, and they're in a rough spot. So I guess it's a win-win for him. They're 0-5. He's expected to perform, and if they do, it's great. But if they don't, I don't think anything was expected other than what's been happening so far.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I think they were kind of missing like a main AR, right? I mean, they had Donnie, Temp running their main AR. I'm pretty sure, right? He was their...
No, Donnie was their flex and Tyler was
the
their
flex. Tyler was their main. Yeah, I feel like those two are like flexes though, right? Like, I mean, you've seen them both run subs a lot in the past. I don't know. Like, it just felt like they were missing kind of that main AR role. What do you think, Doug?
I agree with you, Brian. I feel like Donnie can really do it all. Like, I've seen Donnie run an AR. I've seen Donnie run a sub. I've seen him have success with both. I think Donnie's best role is a flex role, to be honest with you, because he has great gunny, great movement, great awareness, really good at finding engagements, kills. And I think he could be a really good flex in the Call of Duty League. Good in any role he runs, honestly. But I think having him run the flex and then bringing in Tom Gravity as the main AR is a good move forward for the team. I never really saw Tyler as a main. I've always saw Tyler more of a flex as well, either a sub or a flex. But I understand he committed to running the main last year. And obviously this year, they've been 0-5. So team change was most likely going to happen, whether it's for Decimate getting dropped out into Challengers or it's, they're signing another player, apparently, from what I'm hearing, too. So I don't think it's official yet, or maybe it is official. It just hasn't been announced. But I think there's going to be more changes coming to this Paris Legion roster as time goes on. And I don't think the expectation is that high going into the tournament. They have about a week to practice. Obviously, for Tom, I think he does deserve his chance. He's going into a bad situation. He's joining the worst team in the league on paper, by the record. I mean, it's just a fact. And they have a one-and-done best in 5. So if he loses that, I hope he can keep on getting more chances, at least get a full stage forward, because I think that's the only thing that I think this Paris team isn't done making changes though, and I don't really expect too much going to this, kind of like what Jerry said.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, to be honest. Like, I don't know, I just feel like if they have that main AR kind of doing, like, I feel like that main AR role is so special because it kind of like allows the other players to play to their full potential in a way, because he's like kind of doing the dirty work. He's kind of sitting back. He's like holding down the lanes, and it allows like players like John, like Donnie, like Temp, even like just to kind of be explosive and run around the map and kind of just dominate. And I don't know, I feel like that team just kind of was missing that. Like, yeah, you said Fellow was a main AR last year, but like I feel like him and Temp, like, yeah, they can run ARs, but they've always been like that flex kind of role, and having like a more like kind of like Surge, how they have accuracy, like that main AR, like kind of in-game leader kind of role, I feel like will allow them to I guess perform better overall. And I mean, like you said, they're not doing well right now at all. So, I mean, a change is needed no matter what.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. I think what you said too, Doug, like, I don't know. For me, I think Donnie does thrive in that flex role. So if, like you said, maybe if they do make another change, who knows down the road, then he would be able to be in that flex role. Maybe they pick up a main sub again and kind of make things work from there. But I like the Tom Gravity move. I think he finally deserves his chance, and excited to see what he can do this weekend in the major.
Yeah, I know how people always talk about him. Like, even last year, he won a lot, right? In Cold War, like he was winning a lot of challengers, and people are always telling like he deserved a shot. Like, how is he not in the league yet? And I guess this is his chance. Unfortunately, it's not like in the best position, but I mean, I guess it's a way to test them, see what could happen with this team.
Well,
all right, guys. So let's. There was some new patch notes today. Let's go look over them really quickly. So we got control round 5 tiebreaker will be based off ticks, not kills. How do you guys feel about that?
It's about time, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, why are we bringing in a game mode where we only have 2 maps and we don't even have like I don't know why it's going down to kills. Like we were playing in a scrim yesterday. My team in challenges, all in Venom, and we were playing against one of the elite teams, and they're one of the really good teams in control. Honestly, we won the first round offense, and then we won the next round defense. So we went up 2-0, and I was laughing with the team, and I said, "Yo guys, honestly, on this offense, let's just sit in our spawn and literally not even try to win the round. Let's just make sure that we guarantee, because like what's going to happen is that we're going to be up 2-1. We're going to go into a defense. And if we lose the defense, we're going to get guaranteed defense again. If we lose 2 defenses back to back on Gab, we deserve to lose the map. So I told the team we should just literally camp in the spawn. Now, obviously, because it's a scrim, we didn't do that. We were laughing. We ended up being aggro, went down a lot in lives. I think we went down like 10 lives in the round. And then we ended up not getting defense in the final round. And we were on offense in the final round. We lost the next round defense. It was close. We lost the 2-1 round, made it 2-2, and then last round 5, we had offense and we lost. And I was like, guys, I told you we should have camped the spawn. So that's kind of what meta is right now. Like if you're a pro player, I guarantee you in these GRVTY controls in this tournament coming up, players aren't going to be moving. So I don't know why they introduced the game mode without having ticks. I think the ticks make too much sense. So it's a great move for our game. But I think the most important thing is we need more maps. Like we can't have coin flips decide which team wins a coin flip gets to pick map 3. I mean, that's a huge thing. All 3 of us have been competing for a long time. If you could pick a map in a series every time, I mean, that's a huge advantage for some of the teams, right?
Yeah, I definitely like that change. I think that rewards you for being like, I don't know, just playing for the win in general versus like trying to like get kill hungry. Also you got the Bokage or Bokage. I was calling Bokage. A-bomb site is being moved from inside the building to outside. I feel like that's a good thing, right? Because like the B-bomb sites kind of favors their spawn, so the A-bombs like you can camp inside the house and like be ratty and camp corners. Now it's like outside. It's gonna be outside, which is like you can work it more.
Yeah, we know exactly where that bomb's going to go. Jerry,
that's what I was going to ask. I don't know, because if they put it outside on the plat, I think offense is going to be super OP on that map. Because if you think about it from like barn looking all the way to A plat, like you would have complete control. There's no really way to like retake it unless you took mids. Like, I don't know, it could add a lot of different strategy to that map. Could play really weird, could play really good. Who knows? I'm not sure exactly where they're going to place it, but that would be the most logical spot for me. Yeah, I mean, they can't put it outside. Like the front of that building. Yeah,
it'll be chalked. I think it will be in the plat. I mean, I don't know. I mean, definitely makes it harder, but it probably makes like pinching more viable and like, I don't know, strats. I feel like it's going to be more strategy involved probably versus like just everyone camping their spawn or like camping an A, camping a B and just wait and just like, I don't know, play off information.
Yeah.
I mean, my opinion, I disagree with both of you. I really think that the bomb site should stay where it is. I don't see any issue with how it plays right now at all. I think that it makes a lot more meta with grenades and nading the cross to the bomb and the doors and the way that it's all played out. Like if the bomb site's on the plat, it's just going to make defense less favorable in my opinion. I think offense, kind of like on Tuscan, like how offense is favored. I feel like it's going to make Bokage a very offensive favored map. I think that you're going to have so many options to play the map however you want to with the way it's going to go. You can almost trap teams inside of that barn building or that grandma's building.
Man, I don't know if they're doing it at all. I don't think they should do it. I just was talking about
I don't know. It's definitely questionable.
Yeah, like I don't know why they're doing that.
But yeah,
I think it'll make it really
they're trying to make it easier, I guess. But in a way, like Doug is right. Like I feel like it takes more skill and strategy to work the bomb, versus just being outside already.
What other patch notes came out, Brian? So we had the bomb get moved outside to the plat. We have the ticks and control. Is there anything else that's worthable to talk about?
Yeah, so they're fixing smokes is on Sledgehammer's radar. Oh, fixing smokes is going to be on their radar, so that's not even going to be fixed yet. And there's a new map, Casablanca, is being tested.
Yeah,
so Casablanca, it's a new map, right?
Casablanca is kind of fun. I personally think it plays good for search. I watch a lot of those challenges late night with Tupac, and some of them like it, some of them don't. I think it's very controversial. I don't think it's going to play good for Respawn, though. But it's a fun...
Sam said it's not viable.
He means viable, period, or like just viable for Respawn?
Like it is not viable, I guess, period. I don't know. Seems like he's not a fan of the map. I mean, it's okay.
I personally think it could play. I think it could play for search and destroy. I think it's decent enough. I think it adds a little bit more variety, but I don't think that's what we need. Like, I think what we need is a good control map. Like, just bring London Docks back, honestly. Like, just give us London Docks just like we did with Cold War. I think a lot of people
London Docks.
Yeah, like you guys both competed last year. I think in Cold War, a lot of players like playing raid. They like playing standoff. Like they're classic maps that we've seen in a long time for a reason, right? So I don't mind adding new maps either, but like it's just crazy to me how we have our season, our first major coming up. It's a huge tournament, and we have teams playing for coin flips to get a third game map 3, whichever
Yeah,
they
I know.
want, right? Like
It needs
it's
work.
it needs work. I
Yeah.
think the smokes. I think having smokes getting fixed is a good step in the right direction. Having the control ticks getting fixed is a good step in the right direction. Moving the bomb on Bokic, to me, I don't think it matters. I think the most important thing is finding a third map for that control. I think that's going to make our gameplay a lot better.
I wish too, like before, I wish there was like a forge mode where you could just move the bomb and like test and be like, okay, does this even play good? Like, is this something we can even maybe make viable or change? And then before you just move the bomb site, because like now, like you're gonna move the bomb site. No one's ever played it. You don't know how it's gonna play out. It could completely ruin the map and maybe be vetoed for the entire year now. So I don't know. It's interesting for sure. We'll see how it goes though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like what Doug said. They definitely need to fix some of these things and like add a new map for sure. Especially for control, but hopefully that gets like situated soon for everyone's sake. Let's talk about the next thing. OpTic S-tier team going into the major. What do you guys think? Obviously we saw OpTic win 3-1 versus Boston. I don't know. You guys think they're gonna be like dominant this tournament? You guys think they're gonna be
Jerry, you go first.
Hit or
you
miss?
go first, Jerry. Go ahead.
All right, so this OpTic team is super weird for me. So like to start off the season, like before anything had been played, when we saw the roster on paper, I had high hopes for them. I thought they were going to be really, really good and like an undeniable team off the break just because of how raw talented they were individually. And I feel like the beginning of games, most of the time, it's just like raw individual skill. But we saw at the kickoff, obviously they got eliminated, taken out early by one of the fan favorites, LA Thieves. Then through the league so far, they've kind of been shaky. They've been on a high horse on the last 3 matches that they've played, but I don't know, man. They're weird to me, right? Like I think in years past, we see them kind of start slow in certain majors, and they got a really tough matchup. I've said it all week on my streams and everything like that. I think that Seattle is a really fundamental, well-rounded team. I think they're going to take them out early, but I see OpTic making a long losers run, just kind of how the bracket plays out. I could definitely see them, like I said, losing early, but making that long run. So I don't know. We'll see. The players are all really good. They just got to put it together and catch rhythm this tournament early.
Well, I think OpTic's definitely a good team. I wouldn't call them an S tier team though, to be honest.
Team right now?
No, I wouldn't call them an S tier team.
agree.
I think the S tier teams are Atlanta FaZe, and then I think there's a couple of teams fighting to be in that S tier with Atlanta FaZe. I would put Minnesota Rocker potentially in there. I think that's a wild card. I think a lot of people say that they're not that good. People say they're not that good in respawn, but they just consistently show me that they could win games consistently against good top teams. So, but I think that they're like more on like the latter half of that. I would say Seattle Surge, even though they didn't play good online, I still have them on the cusp of being an S-tier team. LA Thieves has been making a name for themselves as well. They've been very consistent, including at the kickoff. Toronto, they said that their practice wasn't going good before the kickoff. They ended up winning it. I'm still going to count them in that S-tier right under FaZe. So for me, it's like FaZe is the S-tier. Toronto's right under that. And then I think you got Thieves. You still got Seattle. You got London potentially because they're doing good online. OpTic as well. I think they're in that conversation with 4 other teams to be in the S-tier.
So you think OpTic has potential? Like, for example, this tournament, like, do you see them like catching form and then, you know, being like an S-tier team and like out of nowhere, for example, just like going off and winning their matches and potentially making it to grand finals?
Yeah, I mean, OpTic definitely has the capability of doing it, and although they have a great roster on paper and they've been doing really good in these matches, and I know that some of these players, I think all of them have proven themselves on LAN. I mean, I played with Brandon. He's one of the best like slayers in the game. You got Ender. He's won a world championship. You got Seth. He's won a world championship. You got Shotzi, an MVP. So they can be an S-tier team, but I'm not going to say that yet because I still have some doubts about them. I think that their S&D needs to be a little bit better. I'm not really too concerned about their respawn, but I think their S&D and the way that they close out rounds needs to get a little bit improved if I want to call them an S-tier team to put them in the category with Atlanta FaZe or with the Toronto Ultra.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that on paper they're one of the can be one of the best teams, and they have like such an amazing roster. But I still think they're working on it, and I mean they might get there eventually, but right now not there at the moment. We'll definitely see. I don't know. I think this major though, especially like being like the OpTic major, I feel like they're gonna probably turn up and I don't know, want to put on for their team in their city.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. I think OpTic has a good chance of winning the tournament. But I just think with the league and how it is, there's like 5 to 6 teams in this league.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, no, 100%, bro.
Yeah, right now, 100%. I think you gotta put FaZe, Ultra, Seattle Surge, London Royal Ravens, 100 Thieves, OpTic. and potentially Rocker. I mean, people say Rocker's not good, but look, I think that's 7 teams right there that could easily win the tournament.
I feel like this is good. I feel like we can go to the next topic with this is talking about making a tier list actually for this 2022 season. I mean, we get right into it. We know FaZe is definitely S-tier, right? Like, I mean, those guys.
Jerry, if you have any arguments about that, you tell me right now.
I mean, I don't
Bro,
think
I've been praising those guys, man.
I said this on the desk at the kickoff. I was like, look, man, like my team in Cold War, when I was on Florida, we beat them in like the kickoff match or whatever it was. And I remember from that point on, it made them so mad because Reddit and all these people went crazy and they're like, oh my God, FaZe sucks, blah, 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 blah. And then what did they do the entire league and the entire year? They dominated, right? And I said the same thing at the kickoff when they lost early. I was like, I don't care who you are. If you're going to be mad at Simp for dropping a 0.8 in one series, you are crazy. Here they are, 5-0. Heading into the major, I think they are definitely the favorite, and I'm expecting big things from them. I think they're definitely S-tier and the best team still.
It's crazy, man. I feel like they just have all the pieces, and they're just hungry, all individually, like super hungry, and it's just crazy how good they are.
I don't think you can argue against Simp and Apathy being top 1 and 2 submachine guns in the entire game.
100%.
I think after what Cell has done the last 2 years, I would say he's the best flex in the entire league as well. So you have arguably the 3 best players in their categories, and then RCDs. People will probably argue that one a little more. Maybe he's not the best AR on paper to people because.
But even then,
I think personally, individually, I think he's amazing. But he doesn't put
even then, yeah, you see him like
flashy stats like these other guys or something like that. Maybe people
feel like last year he like turned up randomly though. Like you see him some games, like he's the one carrying his team. He's the one like double pause, like actually putting on for his team like randomly. Like they just all have that explosiveness.
Well, you
like,
got to think.
You and I even know what he does for the team. Like we were playing with Crowder in league play, remember? And I was like,
yeah.
Crowder hit a long route, and I was like, oh, that's the RCD's route. And he's like, no joke, that's what he does. Like he just does like little things for these guys to set him up because he knows like, look, if I get the good spawn, I have literally demons out in front of me. They're gonna fry and kill everyone. So it's like I just need to do my role, play my role, and that's what he does for the team really well.
With him, it's like I think so many people always try to downgrade people's success. They try to say FaZe isn't good because they lost at the kickoff and they got top 8. They try to say Alec isn't good because his player card is like a 78 out of 100 or whatever that thing says.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like if you're spawning in, realistically speaking, with Simp, Abezies, and Celium, the kill feed is going to be your team's color like 80% of the game. Like you don't have to do too much, really. And Alec has always been a very good, consistent top player, regardless of being on that team or not. Even when he was on Huntsman, even before that in BO4 when he won champs. Now, granted, he still had Simp and Abezy, but even in World War II, he was a problem. I mean, the guy's been a good player for a long time, even in IW when he came up and he started winning. So he's always been a great, consistent player, and I think that's the only thing FaZe needs. Like they don't need another Simp, Abezy,
flashy or
like what Dashy's like the best like flashy player in COD in terms of being a main AR. They don't need Dashy. They really could just pick whoever they want. So at that point, I'm picking a player like Alec because he's going to make sure that the vibes are in check. Those guys really like him and respect him. That matters. He's going to make the right play and he's going to clutch. And that's all you can really ask for in a main AR, especially with that team, So I definitely put them as number 1 right now.
I feel like that's something before we move on to the next team. I feel like Doug, that's like I mean, in I don't know, quotations like doing the dirty work or like stuff you do on the map that doesn't reflect really on the stats. But like Doug, like as a player, like I know like you always try to play for the win and make heads up like rotational plays and things like that. Like you don't really see in the stats, but he's definitely making like really good plays and like definitely setting up his team, like Jerry said, like to win the map.
I think you could argue too, like if they added a flashy player that wouldn't maybe take that back seat and kind of just let these guys thrive, that they would potentially get worse. Like I've never been a full believer of like all 4 best players in the world. Like I don't know, you can argue both sides of it all day. Yeah, maybe 100%. They are the best ever, but maybe they aren't because they have people just always trying to get kills, always trying to get in the mix and do things. And it's like maybe it doesn't work out. So
I agree with you 100%, Jerry. I think you're right. I think if you add a flashy player, it's not going to make how much better can they get? How much better are you going to get from winning
exactly. What are they
already?
supposed to go 12-0 instead of 5-0 or whatever? It's like they're already the best right now. So I don't know.
All right, we're praising FaZe. They're amazing team, amazing guys. We love them. Who else? Would you put any other team in S-tier right now? Like Ultra or like is you don't know too early?
For me, I'm putting Ultra in there just because they won the kickoff, and I like to base performances on LAN, not online.
I feel like we should. Yeah, I feel like you have to right now.
I
like
agree.
they were really good last year, and they won the kickoff this year. Like
I just
definitely
think
could
they're
put
such a
them.
like we were talking about earlier about how they're just so well rounded, right? They don't really have like a weak mode. They have really good teamwork. All 4 players, like, they trust in each other. That's one of the biggest things I always talk about in the CDL. Like, when you talk about like the 6 through 12 teams, like almost guys playing for their spot instead of playing to get better and like actually win as a team. And it's like Toronto Ultra, we know they're locked in. They got a guy Hicksy as their sub now. We saw him come in and play a match like that. They're 4 guys who just work really hard. They have good coaching staff, and they're always trying to improve and get better. And like you said, they won the kickoff. They were amazing last year, and ever since they've had insight on the roster, they've been a top contender forever.
Yeah, I can't argue with that, dude. They honestly surprised me a lot last year. They won the kickoff this year. Yeah, I mean, definitely S tier. I guess I feel like those are the 2 teams you probably put S tier, right? Like at this point, I think there's no other team at the moment. Like there's definitely teams fighting for the spot, like Doug said earlier. But like, I guess for A tier, LA Thieves probably, right? They've been doing really well lately.
I think LA Thieves will look great on LAN, online, and like it's hard to judge too. Like we haven't really seen a ton of LAN play from all these teams. Yeah. Like we saw a kickoff that was a single elimination tournament. We didn't really get to see a lot from London. Like now they're 4-0 in the league or 4-1, whatever it is, in the league. But early on in the kickoff, they lost 3-0 to Seattle. It's like, so where do you judge that? Where do you put it at? So I think with LAN coming around and these online league matches kind of being put aside, like we'll really see who the dominant teams are and kind of be able to adjust the tier list accordingly after this weekend.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like it's just really tough. Like we really just have to base this off of team dynamic. Like we're putting FaZe in the S tier, even though they placed top 8 at the first LAN. Like to me, LAN matters, but because it's FaZe, because they won everything last year. Because
I feel like they rebounded well though for the matches, right?
Yeah. So like, I'll give you an example. Like London, I think is 4-1 right now, and they looked really good in their online matches. I'm not ready to put them in that top of the A tier list. I'm not ready to do it.
Yeah, I know. I'm not
because
either.
I haven't seen enough yet. Like, yes, they're off to a great start. Like, they did not do good at the kickoff. They lost 3-0 to Surge. But then after that, they did great in these online matches. Now, if it's a team like FaZe getting 3-0'd by Surge and then going 4-1, I'd still keep them in the S tier just based off the history of the team. Now, with London, if they come out into this major and they place top 3 or top 2 or win, I'm putting them in that S tier, or I'm putting them at the top of the A tier. I just really need to see a little bit more from some of these guys.
What about Thieves right now? Like, would you consider them A tier? Like, based off their...
Yes, because they played very close versus Toronto Ultra. They should have beat Toronto. I hate saying should have, Brian. I'm a very big believer in
I know, but they low-key should have.
Those games were insane. Like, they were the most back and forth hard points I've ever watched. And like, it comes down to minuscule plays at that time and moment. It's like, okay, cool. You flip a coin and maybe a play happens differently. And then, now they beat Toronto and Toronto doesn't go win the kickoffs. Like, who knows? There's a lot of different stuff you can always argue and say, but what happened was Toronto won.
What about OpTic? Would you put OpTic in A tier right now, or is that like?
So for me, it would be at the top of the A tier. I still want to put Seattle Surge somewhere in that mix.
I feel like Seattle. Oh yeah, Seattle Surge. I think deserves to be A tier, no matter like they lost to their last 2 matches.
Yeah, I had this conversation with a couple of my other friends too. They think that Seattle Surge should be in like the B tier or like the end of the A tier, and I'm like, dude. So because they lost a couple of online league matches and their best. Like the flex on that team, Dante, he's one of the best players in the league. Just because he dropped a couple of 0.7s, we're just going to drop them down a whole tier now. I mean, I already saw what Sib could do on LAN. I already saw what he could do in Challengers for 2 years. I'm not going to discredit anything from him based off of a couple of league matches. I mean, they came out to that LAN, guns blazing. They were ready to go. They looked really good. I think they're fundamentally a really sound team. And I still want to put them in. I would probably put these at the top of the A tier, maybe OpTic right behind them. And then I would put Seattle Surge there behind them. And then I'd put London behind Surge. Even though London has been doing really good online, I just can't put a team that got 3-0'd by another team on LAN in front of them just because they had better online league matches.
So you would still put London A tier, even though like they haven't really proven themselves?
I don't know. I'd put them at the end of it.
Yeah, I think it's more B because like, you see, I don't know. I see them as like a middle of the pack team until they prove otherwise.
Yeah, at the moment. Yeah. That's how I feel too.
I have a question too for you. Like, I was having this conversation the other day with like about Seattle Surge, right? Like, yeah, it's online league matches. Yeah, like Sib and whatever, they had bad series. But like, do you think as rookies, Sib and Pred, do you think they can keep that consistent, dominant play from them? Like dropping 1.2s. Like we saw throughout the kickoff, they were doing it. We saw throughout the league matches when they'd win. Like he's playing like one of the best players in the game. But when he does struggle, they have lost. So like, do you think they can keep that consistency factor as being so young, so new to the league, and throughout like all the lands and the matches and stuff like that? Because I do think for them to thrive, like obviously Lamar's going to do his role. He's going to be that backbone, like that quarterback of an AR is what I always say. Then you got Mac, just kind of like the role playing sub, but you had two absolute dominant performances from both of them. I just wonder if they can keep that consistency all throughout the year.
I think there's no reason why they can't.
I think so.
Yeah, I think like we've all been around Call of Duty for a long time. You could go into a tournament and be an MVP and then play the next tournament and be like average. Like that's just the way the game works. That's just how Call of Duty is. It's a very day-to-day game, mentally speaking and physically speaking. But just going off of what I know from Sib, there is zero doubt in my mind that he will be at the top of the leaderboard overall KD at the end of the year. Maybe he won't have as much as a Celium does right now. I mean, Celium's on another level, and that team's dynamic is going to make it easy for Celium to consistently put up the numbers he does. But like, yeah, there's no reason why Sib and Pred cannot be consistent and play well throughout this year. And I could argue, look, Sib was tweeting out about his aim assist and having like issues with aim assist. Maybe it affected him in some way that we don't know. But like I said, my eye test, like when I watch Sib play, it's a double check for me, like a double check mark. Like that kid,
I just feel like
I have no doubts in him.
I feel like he just like they were performing like consistently. Like I mean, you can say a one event thing, but they just were like playing well. They looked comfortable. Lamar is obviously like a good leader, and he's really helping them, I feel like, develop their game and like be on the same page and work more as a team. And I just feel like there's no reason why. Like maybe they won't always drop 1.2s, but like I think they're still going to perform and do well. And yeah, for sure. I mean, I think they're going to stay at the top for now and be like a really good team. What do you guys think about Minnesota? A tier or not yet? Are you playing like in the B tier?
Doug was saying that I don't know. I haven't seen like enough from them.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like they're more of a B tier at the moment.
It's kind of like what Doug said. Like for me, they sit like right in the middle of the pack. They're like that 5th, 6th, 7th team. They could go out and win the event, or they could go out and get double first rounded. That's literally how I see this team. Like for me, they haven't found like a super consistent mode. When I look at that roster, I think, all right, they got to be disgusting at search and destroy. But like I don't know. Like I said, we don't really see much from them on land. We did last year, but on land this year, they were out early. In the league, they've kind of been so far. So like, I don't know. I just don't ever know what to expect when I see these guys play. They could go out and beat FaZe, or they could go out and lose to Paris. It's just like, I don't know. It's weird for me.
I agree. I feel like this game is a little different too. So I don't know.
I believe putting him in that B tier is good, Brian. I think the B tier is good for Minnesota.
I think it's good.
Now.
I saw Saint, their coach, he was tweeting out saying that like they were overthinking the stuff, and I feel like I feel like this game, Doug, I don't know. I mean, you play it, obviously you scrim every day. Like it looks like when you overthink stuff too much and you try to play too structured, I feel like you can get punished. And like it's more of like it looks like more of a running gun and like just go like just pushing teams out, spawn killing. Like it's very hectic.
Yeah, I mean, look, like I think the game is it's hard to be consistent in a game like Vanguard because of how fast the game plays. I would say squad spawns plus tac sprinting plus the slide canceling meta, combining that with destructible walls and windows and doors, the way that the
trophies.
Maps play, no trophies. Like, dude, I swear, like I play with some really talented players and challengers, and I'm currently playing with some of the best. And look, I see them take over and be LeBron James. I see them sometimes have bad maps. I mean, look, it's just hard in a game like Vanguard with the time to kill and how fast it is. And with the way that you could, like, you don't even have to like early rotate to stuff. I could even argue like hitting through old hills could sometimes be more beneficial just because you get those kills and then you have an easier situation to break the new hill because you get there in 3 seconds anyways, So it's like the game is very inconsistent, and I think it's all about just getting everyone on the team to buy into the same way of playing and just being confident with your team.
I hear you, Doug. 100%. I really want to talk about this one. LAG. The LA Guerrillas. I feel like they deserve to be in B tier. Honestly, I wouldn't put them lower than that.
Talk to me. I'll be the devil's advocate.
I just feel like so like I've watched like all their matches pretty much. I think except one, but like I've watched all their matches, and I feel like every match they lost were like very simple, like little mistakes that like it just like it's amateur mistakes that maybe they got caught off guard, maybe they weren't as disciplined. Like for example, they'll lose search rounds like 2v4 or like 4v2, 4v3, where like we'll get first blood, and then they'll throw like someone just throw their life away like a dumb push or whatever. Like I just felt like a lot of their losses were so close and like very simple mistakes. Like you see them lose hard points or like 5 points, 10 points. Like I feel like if they iron out those mistakes, like they show their potential, like they can be a really good team. But until they start minimizing those mistakes and just overall, like I think until then they won't be that good. Like I guess A tier, or I don't know what you guys think.
Like, you want to go or me?
I think Guerrillas should be in the B tier right now. I think that they've been, like, on paper when they announced that roster, I thought it was going to be a great team, and I think they had a little bit of early struggles in the year, even on LAN, but like, I just have too much faith in all those players to perform, especially on LAN, and I think Asim is the wild card, and for me, Asim has been arguably the best player in the team. I mean,
yeah,
look, he started off the year slow. Dropping the first donut on LAN is not something you want to put on your resume. But at the same time, I mean, dude, Asim has the top 10 KD in the COD League right now.
I think it motivated him.
Absolutely. I mean, to go from dropping an 0-7 first smash on LAN to being top 10 KD as a sub in the league is super impressive. And if he keeps playing like that with Gunless and his slaying, I know what Austin brings to a team on LAN. And I mean, Kyler, nobody doubts Kyler as a skill and a talent. So I think that they definitely deserve to be in B tier. I think that they could still improve, and I think that they definitely could win, but I'm not ready to put them ahead of the teams in the A tier right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think
agree.
you hit it right where I wanted to say is like, I don't know. I think that the roster is really good. I like all 4 of the players. I think they're all really good, individually talented, but there's always just been this thing. App knows Austin's teams for some reason just always start slow. Like in the beginning of CODs, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they try and structurally take the game like too serious or try and play too fundamentally correct, but like I think as the year goes on, they're really going to perform and be like an arguably top 4 team. I think the roster top to bottom is solid. I like the Hukin Asim, submachine guns, big fan of Slasher, and Gunless is like a guy you literally can never catch off guard when it comes to gunfights. So I don't know. I'm a big fan of the roster. I just think with time it'll get better, but for right now I think they're just kind of on the backside of the B tier. I don't think they're better than really any other teams that we have in front of them.
I agree with that. I think a small part of it plays because obviously I team with Austin a lot, especially start of some games. I think he just loses full a little bit of like the games sometimes aren't the best, and they have rough starts where like there's bugs and it just spawns are broken, whatever the case is. And I think it gets his head a little bit, but I think that probably contributes a little bit to the slow start. But I have a lot of faith in Austin. I think he's one of the best in the game, and I'm sure he's going to turn up, especially come LAN time. And that moves us on to the next teams. We still got Boston, Florida, NYSL. You know what? Boston is a really good, like a big question mark for me. Like, where would you guys put them? Like, would you consider them B tier or C? Like, you think they fit in B tier?
I literally think all of these teams you could actually flip a coin and we don't know what side of the team we're going to get that day. Like, literally,
yeah, I know.
These teams to me are so hit or miss, right? Like, you got this Boston Breach team, just for instance, like, you got the new rookie and Capsule. You got Nero Poison, who's making his LAN debut and playing well. Then you got TJ Methods, 2 older guys who've been playing for a little bit. Like, all these guys could fry, and like when they're clicking, they could be really good. Like, their Search and Destroy look good so far in the league. They could look good at points. You got this new Paris roster. Like, these guys could maybe be good with Tom Gravity. Who knows? Maybe they'll just start frying. Florida, I feel like, has been like this all of last year. They were like it in MW. They randomly win. They'll beat the best teams or they'll lose to the worst teams. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then you get New York. They drop Neptune, basically a few matches into the league. Now they put in Royalty. Things have not looked good so far, but they squeeze out a win versus Boston. Again, that's
I think they're 1-1 with him, right?
Either way. So with who? Royalty?
With Royalty. I'm pretty sure they're 1-1. Like, they won 1, lost 1.
I thought they lost 2. Did they?
I don't know. I know they lost their first match. Apparently Royalty was high ping. I mean, I don't know, bro. Online league, like, I deal with that sometimes when I was living in Miami and like playing the matches. Like, when you're like a 30-40 ping disadvantage compared to other players, like, it can make a difference, bro. Obviously when you're playing like the best players in the world. So I don't know. I think Royalty is a beast, but I don't know, for Boston, like, I don't know, dude. I feel like what you said, they can take over.
I'll put them
ahead of a C, right?
That's what I think. I think they're probably the best team that could make
team from all of those
noise
4
right away. And then, like, honestly, right down the line, I would go exactly how it is. Literally, I'd go Florida,
New York, Paris.
That's
you
the way
put them
I
all
see it
C though, or would you put any team D?
No. I would put Florida like C, maybe New York.
Florida C. I feel like you have to low key. Like, I feel like they have potential.
I don't like it. Then it's so weird though too. Like New York looked great at the kickoff. Then they went into the league online matches again, and like they look terrible. And then they make a roster change, and it's like, I don't know. You just don't know what to expect from them. Crim and Clay, we know they're hungry. They got Hydra. Hydra's look great all year. Neptune,
Hydra's a beast.
As bad as I guess to get dropped right away, but like I always tell, I've said this to everyone. It's like you only see from the outside looking in. We don't see the scrims. We don't see what goes on behind the scenes when they're playing every single day. The comms, the work ethic outside of playing. Like, you don't see any of that stuff. So it's like hard for us to get a good
feel-
grasp of why they made the roster change.
I mean, I don't know. You teamed with Nep, right? A little bit.
Yeah,
I'm pretty
I teamed with him a lot.
Florida.
I teamed with him in the beginning
I feel
of
like
Cold War
Crim
for
and
5-6 months.
Yeah, Crim and Claire just I'm pretty sure like they're giving constant criticism. They don't take like silly mistakes and like I guess BS like very lightly. Like they're on top of their shit. And like I feel like Nep, I mean, he's a newer player. He's still learning the game fundamentally, especially. And like I guess like he just wasn't clicking with the team. He wasn't understanding like the little stuff. And I guess it just wasn't working. Like they needed someone who I guess been playing Call of Duty longer, or maybe will listen to them a little bit more. I don't know. It just seems like
you'd have to definitely say or argue what you just said, because like literally they pick up instead of picking up like a new guy or a new challenger, all this route everyone's been going, like they pick up an experienced guy who's been playing. So you could argue that
for a long time.
They want someone who can maybe communicate better, knows the small fundamental things of COD, and they can maybe fill into their system a little bit easier. So who knows?
Exactly.
I don't know. They're, like I said, they're a coin flip for me, man.
It's just such a disappointment to me that New York is considered one of the worst teams in the league, especially being from New York and the players we have on this roster. I mean, we have the greatest Call of Duty. Could you imagine a team with Crim 6 being considered one of the worst teams? That's crazy.
At the moment, yeah, it is crazy to think right now. It's actually insane. Yeah, I think Crim's like one of the GOATs for sure. So
if we're making this tier list right now, I think we all agree that Florida should be in the C tier. I think that they have a pacing issue. They have talent, sure, but like the roles on, like I'm a big fan of roles making sense on paper and just having all the package there, like Vivid, Skies, Awakening, Dav Patty. Dav Patty, main AR. Skies, main AR. Awakening, in my mind, flex. Vivid, sub. AR, flex, sub. I mean, you need like two, like in a game like Vanguard, you need your subs to be able to take routes. Like it's never been more important in Call of Duty to have sub players take routes than a game like Vanguard. Being able to understand squad spawns, being able to understand when to take a route and valuing your life to get one kill on a rotation, or when to just headbutt and just chow and just be aggressive. And who cares if you die, because a glide bomb takes a 7 kill streak, which is not easy to get. And it doesn't really do too much on some of these maps. I'd argue on GRVTY, it's the most important. Like a glide bomb on Berlin P3 is good. A glide bomb on Bokage, maybe P5 or maybe P2. Tuscan, sure, maybe for P1, but like the glide bombs and the streaks in this game are not as valuable as streaks in the past. So there's not really much of a penalty for dying. So I think it's very important to have sub players be just understanding the squad spawns well. So for me, like having 3 AR players on a team doesn't make sense. And I don't think they'll ever be able to figure it out until they make a roster change.
Here's a counterpoint to that too, Doug, is so what you were saying about Paris earlier, how you like their roster. It's like the same thing for me. So I teamed with all those guys in the past on Florida. I actually don't think it's really a role issue here. I've seen all those guys. Awakening can run a sub. He did it in MW when they won those 3 events, and I think he's fine in the sub role. I think their problem for me is the consistency factor. We saw it through Cold War at multiple lands and multiple matches where, like I said, they can either beat the best team or lose to the worst. And I think for them, it's just like they need to understand how to play the game like as a team and as a unit, and like just play more consistent individually. I think you see them like sometimes they'll have, I mean, we've seen it all the time at the kickoff. Awakening is having like 1.3 series with a sub. That's unreal gameplay. So like, I don't know. For me, I think they need to find that more consistent gameplay for them to really be like an arguable top
team. Seems like, would you say like a more fundamental level? Like I just feel like when I watched them last year, especially, it just like I don't know. Like they were getting kills,
we were all over the place. I would say it all the time in practice.
Like we all over the place on the map.
We would play scrims and we would like, let's say we're breaking a hill. We would like set up a pinch and we'd do it organized, do it correctly, and then come match time, like someone's throwing away their life, they're doing something crazy, or they're like not like locked in and listening. And like I said, every time we would play in a match, we would like end up losing. But when we would scrim, we would dominate every team. So it was like we didn't really have like a problem, I guess, because we were like, all right, well, we just win all of our practice, but we go to these matches and now we can point out all our mistakes and show why we lose. But I don't know. I think with them, it's super weird. But I don't know. We'll see what happens throughout the year.
So I guess for the last 2 teams, are we gonna put like I feel like Paris, you got to put them in D for now until they prove themselves.
It should be an F, no? Like, is there an F?
There's
like
no
if you're Owen, okay, so then D. I mean, if you haven't
like the last
you gotta put New York in front of Paris.
It's really tough for me to say
we'll flip that out. We'll put New York in front of them. But I feel like right now those 2 deserve to be in D until maybe they'll show up this major and turn some heads around. But
that's the thing about this, Brian. Like, dude, all those players in Paris, they're great players and they can win. It's just when the league is so small and the talent from top to bottom is so tight, it's all about making the right small plays in those moments. And unfortunately, Paris is 0-5. So look, the
Yep.
players are great. They can win. It's just, it is what it is. Like right now, they have to be at the bottom of the barrel.
Exactly.
They haven't won a series. And New
you
York
could
is
Unfortunately,
argue
right
right
behind them.
now, it has to be like this. It is what it is.
I think you could
Basically.
argue, like you guys are saying too, like anywhere from B to D, like could all switch. Like we could see a crazy run from one of these teams. It would not shock me at all if we saw New York an A-tier team after this weekend, or if we saw Boston Breach go up, or Florida Mutineers. Like honestly, I hope it happens. It's just what we have to base it off right now.
Or a team
And this
going
is the
down
list
too.
at the moment.
Exactly.
This is we're basing off recency. Obviously, this can easily change. So, I mean, we'll see what happens this weekend. Let's move on to the next thing. We got trivia questions. This is going to be a fun one. This is going to be a fun one. Okay. Top. So we got which team with a winning S&D record to stage average the smallest score differential? Texas, Minnesota, Seattle, Boston, or Atlanta?
It's one of those 5.
Yeah,
You could
Say
say
those teams
multiple
again?
choice.
either Texas, Minnesota, Seattle, Boston, or Atlanta.
Which team with the winning S&D record this stage averaged the smallest score differential?
It's a hard one.
It's got to be OpTic Texas, right? I mean, it can't be Atlanta FaZe. I feel like they've been bodying teams.
They've been dominating. Boston have they been a good S&D team?
Boston has
Yeah,
been a good
right.
S&D team too.
Yeah.
I mean, all these teams are pretty good at Surge.
I feel like it has to
Boston's
be
won a
off
lot of search. It could be Boston, dude, or it may be Boston winning
Maybe
an
Boston?
S&D record this stage, average the smallest score. It honestly could. They've been winning a lot of search with like the smallest score difference.
the smallest score.
I'm changing to Boston too. I think it's Boston.
I think it's Boston, to be honest. I could be completely wrong, but I don't know. What do you guys want to go with?
Yeah, I'll go Boston. YOLO. Oh, did we get it right?
It was OpTic.
Doug was right.
It was
Oh my
OpTic?
God,
No shot, man.
No.
Oh man, I said
God,
OpTic. Why did I change
yeah,
my
you
mind?
did say OpTic. You did say OpTic.
Come on,
Ah,
Doug.
look,
You gotta
that
be a
was
leader
OpTic
in this
too.
call, man.
I feel like OpTic were just like they're just all over the place at the moment. All right, let's move on to the next question. What team scored 0 points on the most hardpoint hills in stage 1?
Oh, Lord.
New York.
It has to be New York.
They have to win a hard
No, it's
point.
gotta-
They literally haven't won a hard point.
It has to be New York, right? Like Paris has been placing that close.
No. New York, bro.
It's-
I literally
New
saw
York.
Krim
Yeah.
tweeted out who should veto against this. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. We haven't won a hard point.
Yeah, I'll go New York too. To be
If
honest,
it's not New York, I'm gonna jump in my canal, dude.
I'll be mind blown.
has to be New York. Right?
Whoa.
No.
Seattle.
Seattle.
Wait, this got to be a
wrong?
trick question. Wait, is this a trick question?
Which team scored 0 points on the most hard point hills in stage 1? There's no way.
Which hills did get 0 points on? Jeez, I thought Seattle were nasty. All right, well,
Is there not
sorry,
an answer?
Seattle.
Like, give me a bow cage P1 or something.
Right?
Dude, every time I watch New York play hardpoint, it doesn't look good, and every time I watch Seattle play, it looks pretty decent. So
I know that's
a
fine.
surprise.
That's a crazy stat. Which team at 3-2 in control won more than 2 offensive control rounds total in stage 1? So what, like one? That's kind of hard. More
Which
than
team
2
at 3-2?
offensive.
I'm gonna say the Thieves. It's either Atlanta or the Thieves. I feel like they're both really
I feel
good
like
at control.
control wouldn't. I feel like you would have to go. FaZe would make sense, but what do you think?
I don't know.
More than 2.
Any
New
answer I
York-
keep saying it's the opposite. So I'm gonna go something crazy here. Go Florida.
I'm going Thieves. These are hard to guess.
I'm going with FaZe, bro. FaZe are nasty. I don't know.
It's Florida.
Let's
Let's go. Wait, they did this on purpose. We're being set up, man.
We're being set up. We're getting every answer wrong. Nah, we should have won the first one. All good though. Which top team is actually losing the most rounds with the bomb planted? Texas, Minnesota, Boston, Seattle, or Atlanta?
Which team
Oh,
just
man.
can't sit still once they get bombed down? Basically,
Yeah, like they get broken down really.
it's got to
real
be the
quick.
breach, right? They got capsule.
It's gotta
and
be
keys just
FaZe.
running
It's
around.
gotta be
I feel like it
FaZe,
has
bro.
to be FaZe. I feel
Dude,
like it's
they
the breach,
don't want
bro.
us to pick FaZe because they think that it's not them, but I'm telling you it's going to be FaZe.
Those
because
guys
the way
are
this is
number one
going.
in every stat. They got to be number one in this too, right?
Dude, I don't know. It's gonna be OpTic, but I'm gonna go with Boston.
Seattle.
Seattle.
Dude,
Goddamn,
Lamar don't got
Lamar,
on
hold the
camping?
bomb, bro.
I have a
Camp
0%
Lamar.
chance.
Lamar don't know how to hold the setup, son.
Hold on, iron.
Dude, they have me second guessing everything right now. These
Bro,
questions
I
are
don't
getting
even
me,
know, bro. Dude, no bullshit. I thought a Loki would be Seattle too. I don't know why. I just feel like I think of Lamar and their setup just breaking apart. But
Yeah, Lamar just hitting the flank. Stay alive.
Yeah, let's go on next question, bro. This stage, a team lost a series in which they only lost their 3 map defeats by combined 3 points. Who was this team? Bonus, which team lost by 4 combined?
What?
Oh my goodness, man.
By 3 points? I guess that's considering like
Florida Mutineers. Florida Mutineers lost a hard point by like 2, an S&D and a control by 1. I think the bonus is Florida Mutineers. And I think the bonus is 4 combined is Florida Mutineers, if I'm not mistaken.
Team lost 4 combined. Okay, Florida. But which would be the 3 one?
The 3 points one?
I feel like it's Guerrillas. Yeah, the LEG had some close matches. Too. Yeah, right? I would say LEG.
I thought it was going to be Surge, because I know Surge has lost some really close games.
Oh, no.
So which one's the bonus then? Or is it the same?
I don't know. Florida's one of them. Or is that both of them?
I do. Florida 100%. Though. The bonus answer is Boston. Florida was 3.
Jesus. Capsule just... I guess he was frying. Barely
I knew Florida was definitely one of them because that one series they had with Toronto when Hixie came in.
LG must have had like a 5-point game difference for sure.
Wow.
All right. Those are the trivia questions. Now let's move on to fan submitted questions. I have the questions ready to go. From Bud Blinks, is London legit this year? Are they legitness? What do you guys think? You guys were talking a little bit about it. You guys like that?
I mean, we already kind of spoke on this a little bit. I think it's a little too early to tell. They've looked good in the online league, but let's see what they can do this major, and we'll be able to get a better grasp of if they're legitness or not.
To me, it's all about Joey Gizmo, man. I mean, he's got like the 2nd best KD in the league. If he keeps playing like
Who
that,
is that guy?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know who Joey Gizmo is, but I'm about to find out, right? Like,
bro, I was talking to my chat in the stream earlier, and I was like, LAG's beating them, and everyone's like, I don't know, Gizmo, he's a beast. I'm like, I mean, I guess, but like LAG on top, I don't know. I mean, I guess he's really just come out of nowhere and just started frying. I know he was really good in the EU scene, but
that's usually how it goes, Brian. These guys in challengers who play well get their shot, and they usually play good. And I know everyone on that team. I mean, Nasty and Gizmo have been frying in the EU challenger scene. So look, you can't really ask for much more out of Gizmo. I mean, I'm just basing it based off of the land and them getting 3-0'd. But look, outside of that, they've looked phenomenal, right? Like you can't argue the stats that Gizmo's been putting up. You can't argue their win-loss record. So it's hard to say that they're not legit, but I do want to see what they're going to do at this tournament. Like it's going to be really interesting to me to see how they all perform. I think they'll play good. But
I think they will too.
I just truly don't know.
I think also like side note, I think Trey Zero has been obviously competing for a long time. We know this, and like I feel like he's always been a good like I don't know you want to call him an in-game leader or a leader or what, but like I just feel like he's ran the main AR role before, and like he's just been very vocal. He's always been very vocal, and I feel like I think he's like part of the puzzle. Like
zero to hero, like baby. Lamar, 0 to hero.
Kind of like Lamar to Seattle Surge. I feel like he's their Lamar, he's their accuracy like on London. Pretty much. Next question. Who do you think could make a surprise run at this first major?
New York. I think it'll be New York, if anything. Yeah, I do. I mean, dude, they look really good at the kickoff. They look good on land. Like I just can't see a world where New York places dead last on land. I just can't see it.
I can't.
You can?
Yes.
That's
I mean, right now I can because they're already a loser. Or they're like, elimination bracket.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a one and done. Like they just lose a 1 best of 5. They get last. I can definitely see it. I don't know.
They were winners. I would maybe argue like, yeah, they could make a run, but I don't know. I just feel like when you're losers, bro, like mentally too, like, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of in a bad spot in a way.
In royalty, we trust, man. Let's go.
OT's a beast, bro. I don't know. He might just surprise all of us and just absolutely fry it, and they do make a run. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess like you never know. Next question from Reckless. If NYSL do not make it to at least top 8 in Major 1, do you see them making another team, Jane, possibly bringing back Neptune?
No.
I don't
too
think
early.
so.
There's no way. If they make another roster change after 2 to 3 league matches and a potential one and done at a major, they are going down the LA Thieves route from last year, and it's going to be a long, long year ahead of them. I hope that they don't do that at all.
I hope they don't make a change, but I definitely see them making a change. I just know Crim and Clay and the way that they are, and they want to win. And if they're not winning, they're gonna keep on making changes until they find that winning formula, in my opinion. I don't think they're just going to stick it through with players and a team dynamic where they're just losing all the time. Just knowing those guys and knowing who they are and what they're all about, I think a team change is going to happen again, and I think it's going to happen soon. But I do agree
Do you
with you,
not?
Jerry.
Do you not think like it's too early? Like they only play like what 2-3 matches with Royalty. They maybe play one. Like let's say in hindsight they lose his first match. Like do you think they're like? I feel like you got to keep the core three. So Royalty would be the only one they change. Like you think they make a change already like that fast, or do you think they give him like a couple
Honestly,
matches? Like
it depends on things. It's the unknown, right? That we don't see. Are they getting destroyed in practice every single day, every time they scrim,
Yeah.
or are they winning scrims? Because that is the overlying factor, in my opinion.
plays
Like
a factor.
if they're
Yeah.
winning all their scrims, or let's just say 75% of them, and then they go to this LAN and they lose one series, I would almost guarantee that they'll keep the same roster. But let's just say they're losing to everyone. They bomb out of the major. I could see a roster change for sure. Then
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that's exactly what happened. So next question from Matt Dale. Which team from losers do you think will make the farthest run? Oh, we actually already answered that one, huh? Doug said NYSL. Oh no, that wasn't
oh, that wasn't the same question. It's
yeah, that wasn't the same question.
Losers.
Yeah. That was like yeah.
What
I don't know.
What teams are starting in losers? The New York,
Florida,
Paris,
yeah.
Florida,
Paris.
and who's the last one?
Boston.
Rock-
No, it's not
Rocker,
Boston.
right?
It's Rock. Is it Rocker?
Is Rocker?
I think it's
went?
Rocker. Yeah,
Oh snap!
I can pull it up
Rocker,
right now.
then.
Let me double check.
Yeah, double check for me. Okay, I got
Yeah.
Minnesota all day then.
Minnesota. Oh,
I mean, they're
Yeah.
the easy pick because they, even if you look at these matches, like I want to say New York, but they're going to play the loser of Thieves and Ultra. Like that's not going to be easy. Rocker,
Do
they have a
they
slightly
actually?
easier. Yeah. And then Rocker, I mean, they're going to play the loser of London and LAG. I think those are easily winnable series for a team like Minnesota. So I kind of have to go with you on that, Jerry. Like,
yeah,
I wanna
because
see New
London
York
are
do
probably
good,
going to
but-
drop. Yeah, like LAG is
I
going to
feel
smoke
bad
London.
for
So
New York, baby.
I mean, you could even
Oh,
argue
man.
Florida as well. Like if Florida's going to play a loser of FaZe in Boston, I think Florida and Boston, the way that they play COD, like they could
Oh,
potentially
that's a
beat that
toss-up
team.
series.
It's
Actually,
a series that could go either way, I feel, but I'd say Rocker's the most proven team that can make a run in the losers bracket, if you ask me.
They have the most LAN experience together. They're well rounded. I think Minnesota's a good shout.
yeah, I'd go Minnesota too for sure, 100%. Next question from Kid Mac. Opinions on Desi getting dropped. This is a juicy one.
mean-
You want me to go first, or you guys got it?
I have a lot of experience with him, so I don't know.
Okay.
I said this since the start of like that Paris Legion roster forming. I just didn't like the roster at all. I thought it was a terrible team dynamic. As far as like, I think all players on the roster are good. I think they could all fit on a specific team. But as a four, I just didn't think it was ever going to work out. Just because I know how some of those players play. I've teamed with actually every single one of them except for Fellow. And I don't know. I think JT's a really good player. I think he's been put in some really weird spots as far as like, I don't know, just teams that
Yeah.
don't really make sense. Like he hasn't had like a good shot on like a route. Like I think, for instance, you put him on this New York team, I think it's a different outcome. Like I think they like, let's just say he gets in for Neptune. I think that could work, my personal opinion. But I just think it was a weird team. I think like maybe I don't think he was the problem of why they weren't finding success, but I think who they replaced him for could actually end up helping them just because other players will be more comfortable now. But I don't think it was his fault of why they weren't winning.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all can agree he's really good. He's definitely been put in some weird spots. I think it just goes back to like we were talking about earlier with like the London squad or the Surge squad, how like maybe on paper, you know, they might not be like the craziest best players in the world, but their team dynamic and like the players like the roles just fits well. And I feel like that's a key factor when it comes to becoming like a really good team, is like just having the right pieces. And unfortunately, like I don't know, I guess they just went with Desi and for like kind of that main AR player Tom Gravity. So
Well,
I don't know,
I guess for me, it's like I know what JT could bring to a team. I think he's a solid player. I don't think he's the one who deserved to necessarily be dropped off the team, but they need to make some sort of a change. And with the way this league is and the way that these rosters are formed and the politics that go behind them, it really comes down to maybe like one or two people's opinions. So we don't know what their internal dynamic is like. We don't know the way that the team feels about each other. It's just tough because if you're on an 0-5 team, somebody's going to be getting dropped. Like somebody's going to be getting
Yeah.
replaced. And maybe it's a blessing for JT's career. Maybe it's not. It's just such a weird it's such a weird position to be put in. If I was someone like JT, I'd be going through it right now because you don't even like you're probably like questioning. You kind of have to think in your head like, oh, it wasn't my fault. It was the team. Like I know I'm a beast. Like you have to have your confidence high and say, yeah, I'm gonna come to my next team and fry. But then at the same time, it's like, dude, we just went 0-5 and like, what was my responsibility in that, right? Like you kind of have to look at it from both ways. So I feel for him, and I think he's going to be fine. I know he's going to go back down in the Challengers. He's going to be able to prove himself again, like he did last year. So I think he's going to get another opportunity at some point.
I agree. I mean, I'm just so scared of this team though. Like it's so weird to me. We saw this exact same thing happen last year with this team. They started out strong. Yeah. They looked good. Obviously, they're not looking good right now, but they thought that the problem was Fire 40. They dropped Fire 40. What they put in Classic, I think, or someone else. They put in someone else. Then they put in Donnie. Then things just didn't click and nothing started working. Then they made another one person change. They got rid of Nick, and it's like they just keep doing things like this. And I don't know. In my opinion, unless like a lot of the series are super close and it's just one person just absolutely getting smoked or not fitting in on the system or something like that, I highly doubt things are going to change like crazy. But who knows? They're doing a role change now. Maybe it'll pan off for them. Hopefully it does in their sake. And I don't know. We'll see what happens over time.
Yeah. I just want to see my guy John succeed, man. I love that guy.
Me too.
He's been struggling, man. This team's been struggling, but I really hope this change benefits them either way. Next question from Glenn. Thoughts on COD being released every 2 years after 2023? Oof. I know you guys saw that. That was I feel like that was a crazy change, but like it might be a good thing. The crazy thing is, like, I know as a community, like from a competitive side of things, I know we've always talked about like how the COD changes every year and how we wish like, oh, can't we just to play a one COD for a couple years, or like, for example, we could have played like one of the best CODs, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, whatever, for a couple years. Like it'd be nice for us as well, but like it never happened. I guess until now, it's actually going to happen. What do you guys think about that?
Let me ask you both one question really quick before we answer this question. Doug and App, either one of you can go first. Doesn't matter. I'll ask you first, Doug. How many of the CODs that we have played since the longevity of our career would you play for more than 1 year?
Not many.
I'll play a couple.
Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1.
World War 2?
No.
World War 2? Boots in the ground? No. The game. It was a good competitive game. It wasn't fun, I guess, in hindsight. Dull. The colors are dull, but like I feel like it was good competitively.
Yeah, they just need to have world champion. We know.
Dude, we just need some good map design. Like, is it hard to have good map design? Is it really that hard? Like, that's all we need is some good map design, man.
That's my struggle. So let's just say it's like 3 or 4. Let's just say like, and we've been playing for what, almost 10 years each of us. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Say it's 3, 4. Yeah, you luck out. Maybe 2 years you play each one. But like, what if a bad game comes out? What if we get a Modern Warfare and we're supposed to play this game for 2 years and everyone's despising it 2 months in?
I see what you're saying. There's definitely that argument, but I feel like the other argument to it is like when a game has a longer lifespan, I feel like they can work on it more and they can add more stuff to it. Like I feel like we've had games where like they start off kind of bad, whatever, and then like halfway through a year or like towards the end of the year, the game becomes amazing because they made all the updates and they fixed the issues and they added new maps that are really good. And I feel like that's what happens, and then like then it goes on, and then like it gets chalked, and now we're in a new game, and then it's like the same thing where just like that cycle keeps going. Where now at the beginning of the game it sucks, and like I feel like that's like the other argument to it though. Like there's so much potential in a lot of these games, and like it just takes time, and then we just don't get that time because then we just move on to the next game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's the thing, like if dev support is going to be there and be willing to help change a lot of the issues and like, okay, we have bad maps or these maps aren't working out, let's add another map. Let's create another map to help with like, for instance, we have 2 control maps right now. Okay, is that going to be a thing all year long or are we going to get another map? So I guess if you look at the way you're saying and you actually like have the dev support behind you, they're willing to change things and add things to the game to make it work and have longevity, then I could see it working. But I don't know. I'm just scared for it the way it's been and throughout my career, and I've seen it for 10 years. I'm not sure that all that will happen, but we'll see.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think also too, I mean, we all saw like Modern Warfare or Warzone 2 coming out that year too. So I feel like, I mean, if you look at it from a competitive side, it's going to be interesting, but I feel like that's also going to bring a lot more, I mean, just something to play, like, and it's supposed to be really good. So that 2 years should be filled with like, yeah, you get the new Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Okay, guys. So for the last thing, we're going to be doing predictions for these matches. We got the pick'ems. I know everyone has their own opinion, so we're gonna, we got some matches to go through.
We'll agree to disagree here.
Yeah, we'll agree to disagree. We'll try our best to be on the same page. FaZe versus Breach. Is this going to be a 3-0 smoke show, or is Boston Breach going to put up a fight? What do you guys think?
I did this earlier. I think I got FaZe winning 3-1, in my opinion. I think Boston's good enough to take a map, but I think overall we were gassing FaZe like crazy. I think they're by far one of the best teams in the entire game, and back on land with a lot of experience under their belt now. I see them winning this with ease.
Yeah, I think the same thing.
See, I think to me, it's like I don't know what to expect out of Boston because they've been pretty consistently like middle of the pack throughout, starting as a team, scrimming, tournaments, matches. They've been like right there in the middle. They show me some potential. I'm like, oh, if they make this one extra play, they'll win the map. They didn't do that right there. So it's like I could see them taking FaZe far into a series. I could also see FaZe just coming out and just not dropping a map, honestly, because it's FaZe. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a 3-1.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Boston. I like their search and destroy. And if they can extend a series to a longer period, the longer they get in it, like if they go to a game 5 with FaZe, I could see Boston pulling that upset, honestly. So it's really about just making the series longer, valuing your life, and just playing the game confidently and not to really like try to do too much and not trying to overcomplicate things. And I think when you have rookies on the team, sometimes that might happen. But I think Boston's going down a good path right now. I could see them doing well, but I think FaZe is probably going to win 3-1.
Yeah, it's like you said. I think Boston will sneak up like a map, but I think FaZe are just too good right now. And I think, they're going to win 3-1. OpTic versus Surge. This is the very questionable one. I mean, we're saying Surge is a lot better. OpTic obviously are starting to improve, but I think Surge takes this, I would say 3-2. What do you guys think?
Oh, go ahead.
I think this is going to be a really close series too. I want to say OpTic's going to edge out Surge here just because it's their homestand. They're going to have so many fans. They're going to be feeding off of that energy.
A home court advantage. Okay.
I think it's going to matter here. I think it's going to be a close one, and I could see OpTic winning this 3-2, maybe 3-1, honestly, just because I love Seattle and I think they're going to be able to compete for chips, and I could see them losing to OpTic, coming back through the losers bracket, running it, and then being back in the finals. So, but I'm going to say OpTic's going to win this 3-2.
What do you think, Jerry?
I'm on the opposite side. I'm with you, App. I don't know. I've been saying it all week. I think that OpTic looks really good. But just overall, I think that they're going to take this match. They're going to get super excited to play, really happy, and they're playing a really fundamental, solid team that's still probably slept on, who hasn't been playing well, but we saw the way they played on the kickoff, and I don't know. I expect Sib to fry. I think they understand the game really well. It's going to be a really hard match one, but I got Seattle winning, man. I think it's going to be 3-1, 3-2. I think they take the searches and squeeze a respawn in.
I think it's going to be a really close match. I think it's going to be a really good one. I just think too, with Surge losing their last league matches, I think that's just that's kind of a wake up call for them. And I feel like they're just going to come to this tournaments gun blazing, and they're just going to take them out probably 3-2. Next we got London and Guerrillas, a 3-0. All right, next.
This is the weirdest match of winners in my opinion.
This is gonna be an interesting match. I don't know. You guys are saying London's really good. Obviously, they have Gizmo. Their players have been playing really well these last couple matches. Obviously London. I don't know. I feel like it could go either way, right?
Well, LAG beat London, and that's London's only loss in the league so far. So it's something you got to take into account. But then on top of it, I don't know, people argue, London looks way better, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know, man. It's going to be a really weird series. It's going to be a battle, but I low-key, my gut's telling me LAG.
Yeah, I think LAG are going to win.
Right?
3-1, 3-2.
I'm with you on that, Brian.
I feel like they're going to come out hot, bro. Land experience Slasher's going to be I'm eating you alive. He's going to be on his nameless stuff, and I just think they're going to win. They're just going to come out too hot. Thieves versus Toronto. That's a hot one. Jesus Christo.
Give me Ultra 3-2. I'm riding
Ultra
with Ultra
3-2.
Yep.
I feel like Ultra takes
this.
This
is a battle too, but I think it's going to go similar to the way it did at the kickoff. It's just going to be a crazy series. All the maps are going to be super close, but I think Ultra takes it overall.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Ultra takes that 3-2. Boston versus Florida.
Flip the coin.
That's a flip. You want to flip a coin right here?
No. Give me Boston in that one. Give me Boston.
Boston?
Yeah,
Boston coming out crazy?
Yeah, let me take
What
Boston.
Do you think? A 3-2, 3-1, 3-0? It has to be Florida's getting a couple maps. Even if Boston wins, I don't think it's going to be like a blowout.
Well,
I don't know.
I could see it being
Like
a
a
3-0 for
3-1?
Boston. I could see Boston winning that 3-0 if I'm being honest. I don't know. I just feel
Really?
like there's something about this Florida team that needs to change to me. Like
I
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what
I
it is,
agree
but I
with
just
you,
feel like
Doug.
Boston's team dynamic makes more sense, and I feel like when they're in a rhythm, they could win that series. Like there's going to be 3-0s.
They're
I don't
nasty.
think. Look, I think all these teams and players are good, and we could sit here and go, oh, 3-2, oh, 3-1. But we all know there's going to be 3-0s. And this
There
is one
will.
of those series to me where I could see it being a 3-0.
All right, that's going to be a 3-0. We got OpTic versus Paris Legion.
OpTic.
OpTic 3-0. All right, next.
We get Paris 3-0.
I get Paris a map with Tom Gravity.
All right, with Tom Gravity, he's going to low-key put on
The
for one of the
honeymoon
maps.
is real. The honeymoon is so real. Like they're taking one map at least. Like he may do it all himself.
Yeah, I agree with that. London versus Rocker.
Ooh.
Oof. That's a gruesome one right there. That could be a tough one.
London did beat him pretty convincingly last time they played. I'm going to take London.
I feel like you think
3-2.
London has their number, right? I would say London probably wins like 3-1. I feel like Minnesota doesn't go out without a fight though. What do you think, Jerry?
Let's give a Minnesota a map or two.
Let's give a map,
Give
like a
3-2.
map
Give him a
or two.
3-2. That's a
3-2. It's gonna be
series.
a fight. It's gonna be a fight. LA Guerrillas versus Subliners. I mean,
Wah, wah, wah,
LA Thieves
wah,
versus
wah.
Subliners. I love the Guerrillas. What do you guys think?
Doug's
gonna be
home
tough.
team is down and they're 12th.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, man. That's going to be tough.
To be
for
honest,
New
dude,
York.
we saw the way Octane was shooting at the last kickoff. Him and Kenny were guns blazing. Envoy was
3-0?
making a loser's run to play OpTic. Like, let's be honest here. Thieves are dominating them.
I feel like they are, to be honest.
I think it's going to be like the hottest 3-0 of the weekend.
We got FaZe versus Surge in winners round 2.
And we call it the revenge tour here. FaZe gets their
FaZe
revenge on the
wins
Surge.
3-0.
They don't lose to him 2 times.
I think FaZe wins this. But like, what do you think would map count be? You
I think it might be a
FaZe comes
3-1.
out
It might be a
like a
3-1.
3-1, like Surge
You
get a
going
map.
FaZe,
Like,
Doug? I was looking at your face. I thought you were thinking Seattle for a second.
No, I mean Surge did beat FaZe 3-1 last time. I think Surge is going to win the S&D, and I think that they're going to lose 3-1. I think FaZe, like I scrimmed FaZe last week. I think they're clicking right now, and Surge,
they're on one.
Surge is like trying to refine themselves right now. I think Atlanta just looks like Atlanta, and it's going to be really hard for teams to beat these guys.
Yeah, I got FaZe
I
all
agree.
day there. LAG,
All right, LAG
versus
versus the Ultra. This is where LAG finds form out of nowhere. They're feeling themselves. Slasher 2.0 KD to start first match. It looks like a 3-0.
We'll agree to disagree.
You gotta give LAG this one, right? Like the finding form.
They could.
If they beat London,
could.
I feel like they find some form there. Like they feel good. They're confident.
Yeah, they could. I still take an Ultra though. I love
Yeah,
Ultra.
I mean,
think they're a great team.
yeah, there's always that possibility. I don't know.
I don't know, bro. If they win that first match, I think that's a confidence booster. I think they got momentum swinging their side. They're feeling
So you're
good.
saying they win? You're saying that Ultra wins 3-1 then? Guerrillas wins
No, I
1
think
and then Ultra wins 3?
I think LAG wins 3-2 versus the Ultra. I
I mean,
think
this is P1 hosted by LAG, so you may want to take it.
You might want to put Los Angeles Guerrillas up to that winners finals, man. Like,
Just to say you did. It is your pick 'em.
all right, man. Listen, man.
Me and Doug will take Ultra, but it's
You
your
guys take
bracket.
Ultra. All right. Well, I'll give it a 3-2. I think it goes last map no matter what. I don't know. I feel like Gorilla wins it, but like I think it's going last map versus these guys. I think it's going to be a battle. I don't think LAG is going down without a fight. All right. So elimination round 2, Breach versus OpTic. We say
Later,
OpTic wins that.
Boston.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think I did this bracket earlier, and I think that OpTic is just gonna catch fire through losers. Like I think honestly, the loser of the OpTic Seattle match is gonna do what they're doing through this loser side of the bracket.
Yeah, because they play a Paris, which is like a good first
them
map.
just beating them. Then
Yeah,
if
match
they
and
play
then-
a Boston or Florida, I think that OpTic and Seattle are both better than those teams, even based on our tier list. So I think they both win that series no matter what, and like they're just gonna make a run through losers.
Yeah, and then it's what London versus Thieves.
So where I go Thieves again.
I'm taking Thieves for that too. Yeah,
I think Thieves
I'll
are
say like a
good, dude. They're
3-1
really
probably.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them a map or two. It's
I'll
gonna be some
give
close
Breach
series
and
for
London a
sure,
map.
but
I think they're not gonna like. I think it's like these teams could sneak a map versus like I don't know. Teams are close right now, so I'll give them a map 3-1. Jesus Christ.
you gotta
this is
do
where it gets
the,
really interesting to me.
do the losers
Yeah.
side, and then we'll do the losers finals, and we'll.
Let me scoop this over a little bit. We want to do winter finals first? You want to finish the losers?
Catch it all the way up. Let's get to
Yeah, let's
losers
catch it
finals,
up.
winners finals. Yeah, do the bottom part.
I think
LAG
Thieves
versus OpTic.
I think LAG can win this. I really.
I think
do.
LAG wins this, bro.
I think
not
they can win
because
this.
not because I want them to win. All right, my one argument is OpTic might catch fire, and that will, I think, give them a momentum
They
boost and
have
could
home
help them
crowd
beat it.
advantage here in the major of OpTic Texas, and the crowd is going to be going wild, and they're going to be 2 series in winning. They are not losing the third one. There's no way.
Okay, I see.
I
where
was
you're
there.
going.
I was there at the kickoff, and that crowd
You're
was
underestimating
electric.
Austin Slasher Little Goat.
Yeah, but if he doesn't have the ace hat on, like, I don't know, like
He's gonna have the ace hat on. They're done for.
I don't know. I was
no,
there at
man.
the
I see
kickoff,
what you're
bro.
saying.
That place was erupting. The roof was about to come off. Like when they came out on stage, I remember Neptune was doing an interview on stage, and just Dashy and Scump walked out behind him. They weren't even announcing OpTic, and the place was so loud. And I can only imagine for the major. I don't know. I think they're gonna make a long run. So I'm OpTic here, but App, I understand your LAG argument. So you do you. It's your bracket.
I'm sorry. What do you think, Doug? Give me your opinion.
I think Guerrillas are going to beat OpTic. I really do.
That's what I'm saying,
I look
bro.
at these matchups,
It's gonna
and
be
I
a
think Guerrillas
3-2.
are going to win it.
It's gonna go 5-5 last round. Austin pops a 3-piece and they win, and the crowd
OpTic
gets
wins
silent.
3-1. Hashtag brick by brick. Okay, next.
Okay, next. Seattle versus Thieves.
I'm
I
thinking
like the Thieves. I like the Thieves here
Thinking
too.
Thieves. Dude, Thieves are looking nice, I guess. What do you think? A 3-0 or like a
These are
3-1,
nice.
a 3-2?
It could be. I
3-1.
don't
Surge is gonna have lost composure from the winners, like so they just drop down. Like
Yeah, they drop down, lose some confidence, and Thieves are just hot and smoke them.
And like
yeah.
we have to set it up for like the Thieves to play OpTic, but you chose LAG, so like Envoy goes against his old OpTic team. It's perfect. They play at the major.
It's the
like
story,
we're writing
yeah,
a
but
book
that's where
right here.
LAG
It's the
pulls the upset,
storylines.
and now
versus Scump, and then you got Draza versus Shotzi. Like it's just all there. It's
yeah,
in
but
my head
Envoy
right
now he doesn't have that like that fire to beat OpTic. Now he has to play Guerrillas, so now Guerrillas catches him off guard. You know they have momentum.
No, I think Thieves are going to win that too. I think they're going to lose.
All right,
Man.
what do you think, Thieves? I don't know. This is gonna be a good match, but I think Thieves will win this one.
And that's your host. Oh
Yeah. Oh, Guerrillas are defeated against Thieves last year.
And this is your host Apathy.
But I do see what you guys saying. Thieves are looking really good right now. I think
You're gonna see
they
the
will
Octane
outclass
versus
them.
Slasher. Like who's better? The battle's back. Like
We'll
the
get,
battle
I
of
think it's gonna be a
LA
good
here.
battle. I think Battle of LA. I think Guerrillas are gonna still get 2 maps, but Thieves will come out on top. Then we got
What's
FaZe
that leave
versus
us?
Ultra. FaZe versus Ultra. The battle of the giants. So the good.
And Semp and Abizi hoisted again.
I got to take FaZe, man. Like,
Gotta
I just
take
can't go
FaZe. We
against
just got
it.
to,
Grueler,
man.
though.
Why are they
It's
so
like a 3-2.
good?
It's like a 3-2. Cammy has
A
like a
3-2?
1.4 KD this series. Absolutely
Cammy's
world
yo, Cammy is
like,
disgusting, bro.
he falls short, gets costed, and he tweets out GG's like got
GG's a
costed.
lost
On
fool.
to the next.
And then Ultra versus Thieves. I feel like
I want to see Thieves go to the grand finals.
I feel like Thieves
FaZe
just
would be
yeah
a
they
good
have
grand
so much
finals.
momentum. Yeah.
They just fall just short though to Ultra again, and we just see a repeat of last year's all the finals.
So would you guys agree Thieves beat Ultra
Yeah,
here?
I take
Like a
Thieves this
3-2.
one.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's a close match. Yeah, it has to be. There's no way. The battle.
There's
And
a
then you
battle.
got the finals, Atlanta FaZe versus Thieves. Best
Best
of
of
9.
9, man. I think FaZe.
Can I put 9 for FaZe?
I
No,
think
Joe.
no. I think they'll win this like 5-3. I think Thieves will
I give
make
them
this
3.
competitive though.
Yeah,
You give Thieves 3?
I think FaZe just has the edge, and they
I
hoist
feel
the
like this is
trophy
good.
with the
And they hoist
diamond
the trophy,
spinners
and the
on their
crowd
neck.
goes wild.
Yep.
And
they're
Sal
like,
goes,
"Who would've
you can do
thought?"
it too, faith up.
And then Abizi says in the interview, "What are we even talking about? We're the best." And they
What
just
are we
walk
talking
off
about
the
right
stage.
now? You can do it too, face up. And that is it. This was a battle. Jesus, it's gonna be a fun major. Like this
It is
gonna
hard
be
to
actually
predict
really.
these matches too. I mean, anything could happen.
It is,
truly.
bro.
Like I
Yep.
guarantee you, whatever the final bracket is going to be after the major said and done, like no one's going to probably have a perfect bracket. If you
Correct.
ask me, it's
Yeah.
just these matches literally could be coin flips. Like they could just
Bro,
be
I know.
toss-ups.
Like we
No,
said,
like,
we don't have any LAN experience from any of these teams other than the most people that have played on LAN this game so far is Toronto, like because they made it furthest in the kickoff. But other than that, like some of these teams played one series on LAN. They got some scrims in the back, and like that's all we know or have on these teams. So I don't know, dude. A lot of the series can literally be coin flips. They could go this stretch to a map 5, or people could just get 3-0 world start. So I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It's
I
gonna
feel
be
like that.
crazy
That's
major.
how it is. Like we're like educating, an educated guess here, but like literally any match could go, or most of the matches. You know, I think some of them we can confidently say the early ones that, you know, those teams will win, but a lot of these later matches definitely any team can win. So I don't know, it's gonna be fun to watch and really see what happens in this tournament. Yeah. But that's going to do it for us, man. It was a ton of fun to do this. I just want to say thank you, everyone, for showing up for the first episode of P1. This was really fun to do, talking about all these stuff and breaking all these things down. It's awesome, man. Shout out to, obviously, my boys Censor, Martin, and Slacked. It was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for coming on, and thank you for being here. And, yeah, we'll be seeing you guys at the Major, the next one, because this is going to be a thing we're going to be doing often now.
All right.